You can join.
Pardon?
You can join.
Can I join?
Yeah, of course you can.
Can I join?
Of course you can join.
Can I join dressed like this?
You can join dressed like that.
Yeah?
Listen, I have absolute sympathy for you.
Okay.
Because I understand that this is the symbol of oppression.
It isn't though.
Under Islam. Yeah, it is.
I can dress however I want. You're dressed lovely.
I know you can.
I feel like I'm dressed very lovely.
Every country,
but am I allowed to join?
I understand why your men want you to cover. I understand that.
Okay.
Because it says in the scriptures, doesn't it?
I want to make Britain's first just as good as you do.
Yeah.
So we have the same values.
Britain first.
Yeah.
It's like, but
I'm British as well, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're in that get-up though, because in this country we don't cover up because our men can't control their sexual urges.
But that's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about, though.
Our men aren't barbarians.
It's not about that, Jayda. It's not about that.
Another study that also looked at evangelicals found that 80% of the youth identified themselves as individuals who are engaging in premarital sex.
And that's 80% of evangelicals when you consider everybody. And that's 80% of evangelicals admitting it.
Men aren't barbarians.
It's not about that, Jayda. It's not about that.
Last 3.5 decades, and the numbers here are very scary. The interim report that has just been revealed said 1,082 people lodged complaints between 1980 and 2015 that identified 569 members of the Anglican clergy, teachers, and volunteers as alleged abusers. There were an additional 133 alleged abuses reported by people whose roles within the church are not currently known. The average age of the victims was 11, and 75% of them were boys. On average, it took 29 years for each incident to be reported. And that's the sort of pattern that we've seen around the globe when these abuses are eventually unveiled. Let's give you an update on some of the progress with some of these abusers. Of 84 alleged offenders referred to the police, 4 have been prosecuted, while 23 remain under investigation. And in total, all but one of the dioceses in Australia has received at least one complaint. So this is not just a couple of hotbeds of abuse over multiple decades. This is as pervasive as it can be in Australia, and again matches the pattern that we've seen in other parts of the world.
No, that's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about, though.
Let's continue. I want you to understand that Christ is the head of every man, and the husband is the head of his wife. And then he goes on and says, any woman who prays or prophesies with her head unveiled disgraces her husband. It's the one and the same thing as having her head shaved. Then it goes on, a man ought not to have his head veiled, because he is the image and reflection of God. But the woman is a reflection of man. A woman is not made in the image of God, according to Paul. Indeed, man was not made for the woman, but woman was made for the man. Okay? And that was, it's 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 2 to 16. Remember, she believes in the Bible. She must believe this is from God. This is the word of the Lord. If she disagrees with this, then what does it say here? If she disagrees with this teaching, then she has no status at all. Finally, it says here, I want women to dress modestly, with decency and propriety, adorning themselves, not with elaborate hairstyles or gold or pearls or expensive clothes. This is 1 Timothy 2:9.
The Torah gives us the instructions how to dress, and also in Revelations, as we will see, it gives us instructions how to dress. You know, one of the problems is people aren't reading their scriptures, so they don't know these things. But now I'm here to help tell you this, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy what I'm have to say, right? No, listen, folks, we need to understand you don't have to go dressing up, completely cover yourself in a garbage bag to look decent or be modest. But I'll tell you what, our Creator will probably be more happy if you did compared to the way many people dress today. It's gotten so out of hand. It's a backwards world we live in today. So backwards. A person will go out there today and walk around the nakedness all the time. And then when they die, they're in their coffin fully clothed. It's backwards, folks. We live in a backwards world. We got to do something about this.